Hello, this is the video everyone has been waiting for. Equilibrium has been added to the Jackrabbit Relay code base. It has its own area and it is licensed under GPL 3.0. That is different than Jackrabbit Relay itself, as I do not want Equilibrium sold for profit, but free for everybody to use. Equilibrium really takes very few options and is very robust in what it does. Like Relay, it has to be added to your cron jobs in order to restart when your server restarts, so that it can pick up watching and purchasing the particular coin that you are interested in. You must have one Equilibrium for each coin you want. And here are those options. Also note this is alpha, and it is very possible the arrangement of these options will change. But basically you need your exchange, you need the account, and this is case sensitive. You need the coin. Your deviation take profit. This number serves for both. Equilibrium works on a perfect balance, so this number must be identical in both directions. The number of lots. As I said in the first video describing Equilibrium, it does not work around dollars or the conventional sense of a value to purchase. It works around lots. A lot is the minimum position size of an asset. So if you have an asset that is $2.50 in value for one single lot, or its minimum, and you want the equivalent of $10 worth, then you want 4 lots. Here, this is only describing one single lot. And paper. If this is present on the command line, then Equilibrium will run and do everything except actually place the order on the exchange. This literally sees and demonstrates how this coin will behave without risking real money. It is important that you take time to study how Equilibrium functions before you risk real money. So now, time to get to the actual installation. You will need to update, of course. I've already done this once and several times already, so mine is up to date. From here, there's multiple ways of doing this. I'm going to use Midnight Commander just because it's easier to demonstrate it visually. Okay, here is the GitHub Relay folder. Go into Extras, and you see the Equilibrium folder. Go into that, and you see all of the files. Right, here is where we want to be. Press the Tab key. Go all the way back up to Home. You'll see that I've done this already, but I'm going to show you the process. To copy a file or a folder, it's just pressing F5. Now this also applies when you want to do updates as well. Simply press enter and then you can answer L for all, or press yes on one by one if you're updating. Your first time is just going to happen and copy everything over. You're not going to get all that weird box nonsense. So just F5, enter, and then it will go back to this screen after it's done. So now we have equilibrium, and I have mine running, so I'm going to go through the files. These are what the system traces. For example, one coin I am working on, this is how it records what it's doing. It records the value between the steps, the closing price that it made a purchase, the next level of its purchase, the point that it makes its sell, and then the level within the depth or ladder that it is currently on. Each coin you trade will be given a file like this. So let's get out of this and actually see it happening. Now I'm using Screen, so I have virtual consoles that I leave up, and I leave this running all the time. So launcher, FTX, main, my coin, my deviation take profit, and the number of lots I want to trade. It is important when you're planning your deviation take profit, you must consider the fact that you absolutely will be charged a taker fee on both sides of the transaction. So in the case of FTX US, you are going to pay a total fee of 0.8%. Every single purchase is going to be 0.4%. Every single sell is going to be 0.4%. So when you make a sell purchase combination, as I demonstrated in the first video, you will pay 0.8% for FTX US. Now, again, you see the numbers, the level, the direction of the trade, the asset, the purchase price for the next level, the current level price, the selling price for the current level, and your current balance of this coin if you are not in paper mode. Now let's go through, and you see another coin, multiple purchases, multiple sells, same thing. This is the level or depth, the next purchase level, current purchase price, selling level, current balance. And here is, of course, my coin that was a surprise, and it is still ticking away and doing exceptionally well. But these are all real money. This one is not real money. This is a paper trade, and you must understand that this will behave very much identical, except you won't see the balance at the end of the line. So what you see here is exactly what it would be like if you chose to go live with this coin. You must have an account on the exchange and it must be registered with all of your APIs. This runs through everything in real time except actually placing the buy and sell orders. Now I'm going to get out of this. I'm going to do a double tap Control C, and I'm going to remove. Well, first I'm going to show you the sushi file. This is the current rate. Closing price minus this is your buying price. Closing price plus this is your selling price. And if you want to get your original value, take this number multiplied by the counter and add it to the closing price. Everything here is completely repeatable from the standpoint of the way the system works. So let's see if I can get some numbers here as a demonstration. So we have 34 steps, or roughly $6.24 below the actual purchase price of the very first position in this ladder, which means my original value was $11.49. So when I first started trading sushi, $11.49. It was my original price. So I've lost 50% of value by that, but because of my actual deviation numbers, I'm only 34% below the full base number. Now, normally you should not do this, because without this file, the whole process starts all over again with whatever you have for your existing balance, and you lose all of your tiers. So don't do this. I just wiped out everything. And now I'm going to reestablish the process. So whatever my balance is still in my account. I've made one purchase at the level 1 tier. So what it will do, okay, now I'm going to stop this so I can go back and show you the difference in the change. It will take and burn off 10% of this value of the original position. So let's go back to the calculator. So 10% of 0.05197 is 0.005. That is going to take you a long time. But that is the point of reverse trading. A slow, tedious process that through purchasing multiple levels one by one will burn off any existing budget over time, such that if your profit is 2%, the realized profit after it burns off 10% of the existing holding position will be 1.9%. It's simple and effective and painstaking. but it does do the job very well in the long term. And that is the point. Slow and steady. But now that we've interrupted the process, does that mean you've lost your position? No. As long as you don't delete this file, it will pick up exactly where it left off. So if your VPS reboots and it has to reload its table, it will. As long as that file is not disturbed, it will remember exactly what it needs to do and where it needs to be, so that the entire process will pick up uninterrupted. Equilibrium does this very nicely. Okay, I'm at level 32. I'm going to abort the process. I'm going to restart it. And it's picking up right where it left off, as if the interruption never took place. And I got lucky and I got a sell right away. Most of the time, that doesn't happen. But now, as I said, I am in a virtual console using the screen command. So here is how I reload my console whenever I go into it. And you could close out your console without exiting it by pressing Control A, Control D. I like to see what's going on, particularly when I'm testing and evaluating. But this is not required. You can just as easily go straight in for a reboot process and not see anything on the screen at all. But your reboot command must be identical to your original launcher command. And you must have one command for every coin you trade. I am thinking of making this a little easier in the future, but at the same time, right now this has 1 second resolution, which means it's watching the market like a hawk. As soon as price action moves, this reacts extremely fast. So that's going to be a give and take, and I don't know if I want to sacrifice that level of speed. Okay, we're at level 19. Again, I'm going to interrupt the process, and I'm going to restart it. And it's right back where it needs to be, watching the exact levels it needs to be. Simple and easy. Now I'm running this on the same machine that I have my relay working on. I have 4 renditions. So using HTOP, you can see 0.7% CPU. It's not a lot if you don't trade a lot of coins simultaneously. And you're not going to overload your system excessively. But if you plan on trading 10 or 20 coins, you are going to have an impact on your load and your CPU utilization. So that is something to consider as you are working forward. And now the final part. How to set up your configuration files. Configurations for Equilibrium actually use your existing configuration files with some small changes. Now I'm going to demonstrate my KuCoin configuration because KuCoin is slightly different than every other exchange in that you need a passphrase. So not only do you need an API and a secret, but KuCoin specifically has to have a passphrase option. Now you see I have 7 APIs. Unfortunately, in order to make Equilibrium work efficiently, you need to have at least 3 for the account you use. Every API call is rotated amongst your existing API listings. And now the final part. You need to add the webhook that your relay is connected to. Now you can use your IP address and configure it so that it can communicate through the firewall, or you can use the local internal address, which is actually faster. And you don't have to mess with your firewall if you don't have relay exposed to the public. So this is the fastest way for your local system to connect to relay. If you're using this on a different system, you will need to put your public IP number and then your port that your relay system is working on. Now you don't need to worry about this change in the configuration conflicting with relay itself. Jackrabbit Relay ignores any extra commands that don't directly pertain to its functionality. So the webhook command won't be registered within relay as it's processing the orders. This is only for Equilibrium. So let's recap this. Always have at least 3 API calls and always have your webhook established for Equilibrium. That really is it. It's not very complicated, even though it might seem like it at first. Everything fits into the standing architecture that Relay has already built. Even the code base itself uses mostly Relay components. So once your config is set up, launch and go to town. That's it. And then you will automatically see your system working like this. Now it may or may not kick in and trade right away, but that is fine. You don't need to worry about it. Let's demonstrate one more option where I can show you how to test it aggressively. Okay, launcher. Now let's go with FTXUS, my main account, BTC/USD. I'm going to deliberately set a very low take profit. This is 0.01%. And why I'm doing this is going to become very clear as soon as I start this. Okay, now I'm going to run a paper bot. So here we have a complete setup. Now it made its first buy. Now the buy amount is 0.1% below the current price. The sell amount is 1.01% above the current price. This is a good way of demonstrating how the process works in a rapid basis. Just don't do it with real money. As you can see, the tiers are beginning to climb as the price drops, and you see each level by which the price is dropping. Then you see sell-offs where it reverses itself. This means the price is going up. So by actually setting a paper trader up with a very small percentage, you can actually see exactly how the process works. Now remember that the process will not restart the cycle until it sells off everything back up to the original purchase price. And you will see literally this up-down cycle as it progresses. Let's sit and watch this work for a few minutes. Maybe we will see a cycle reset. As you can see, this back and forth action, this is actually what we want. Because by doing this several times, we will actually make money in this sideways motion. So the more sideways the coin goes, the better it is for us. Here again, it's reversing and backing out of the ladders. BTC is a wonderful coin to demonstrate this process because you can really see it in a rapid basis, just how the entire process really works. It also helps demonstrate how and where you make money. Coins that are volatile are the best coins, but you must be aware that they need to be stable, because if it gets liquidated, nothing is going to help you, or if it's delisted. So even though the lesser known coins are great, make sure they're nowhere near being delisted. Because if they go down and keep going down, you're going to lose money. You need these back and forth motions. So we are at 2.6%, or roughly 0.26% below the initial value, because our initial value is 0.01% for a deviation. It's fascinating to watch this in such an aggressive level, and if you have the budget to afford this, this is literally a liquid money printer, but it has high risks. The lower your deviation take profit, the more accumulation your account will occur, and the more risk you will take on. So you do need to balance this out carefully. Well, it looks like it's beginning to channel around the 20 position level. So that's good, because now that these channels are starting to form, the back and forth is making money. And maybe I spoke too soon. It's actually interesting watching Bitcoin go through this stuff. So try it out, paper trade first. Understand your volatility and your risks. The asset analyzer will help you pick your minimums. But make sure you pick the right coin to drive your system. Of course, I'm going to terminate this now. But all of your coins work the same way. Paper trading coins do not give a balance. Real money coins, you see the balance as it is. On a real money account, when this balance goes below your lot size, it resets the ladder no matter what. So if you've burned off enough of your positional balance to the point that this is below the lot value, this will be reset. This is how the system is able to deal with burning off your asset over a long period of time and not being stuck in a channel, because those channels will fluctuate based upon your actual balance of the coin. If you have any questions, be sure to let me know. Test, test, test. That is critical. Until next time.